Welcome back to another episode of Penny Roll Hunting. Today's episode 639, and let's see what we got here. Yeah, they don't give these penny wrappers out at the bank anymore. Not in any of the banks that I don't know about this one. Yeah, super not cool. Is there any super do? I don't even want to go through this. All right, I guess. Well, let me just see if there's any copper in here. And yeah, we got some copper. And then I'll just do another. I'm really not feeling this. So let me just take out the copper, and then what I'll do is I'll do an extra short video just on what is this? Whatever copper finds we got in here. I don't like this. 82D. Oh man, how couldn't you be a copper small date? All right, let's just move this over to the side. What is this? Yeah, all right, not cool. I'll put it to the side. I'm not penny roll hunting that. I took out a few coppers that were there, and I guess that's what happens is people put their coins in the. Oh no, same person. Oh come on, man. Seriously, you son of a gun, you. Look at that. Look how beautiful this penny would have been if it wasn't for the poor just like I said, I'm just gonna look for see if there's any coppers. And then yeah, I'm not gonna waste a but this happens, you know, this is part of the deal. And I know they're from the same person. You feel me? That's how you do a little forensics. Come on. All right, here we go. Ooh, look. Wow. Wow, look at all the copper in here. Wow. There's gotta be over 10 copper panes in here, if not 15. Look at this. And they're nice looking too. Oh, that's great. All right. So what happens? You get a little extra content today. No big deal. Let me put those over to the side. I don't want to get them mixed up with yeah, so you could do a little bit of forensics with your penny roll hunting by if you keep the penny rolls together from when you go to the bank. So for example, those two were from one from one bank run when I went to the bank, and then when I put them over here, they're right next to each other. So I know they're from the same person, right? They're from the same day, the same bank. They look the same. And I hardly ever find. Oh, look at that. See there by the O? That's a big blister. Big gas blister. Let me look at it under the loop. Yeah, that's nice. I don't find them like that too often. And the penny's in beautiful condition. It's a 99. Let's see if we got the wide AM. I doubt it. Of course not. No. I mean, they're not exactly. Yeah, they're kind of touching on the bottom, the A and the M. That's a pretty nice blister, I have to say. And it's a really attractive looking coin. All right, we'll put that to the side. So, you know, I don't go too deep into that whole rabbit hole. But I do pay attention, especially if they're one after the other. And I'm kind of glad I found the one after the other. Get rid of them today. Yeah, I see that on the 4. And you can see on the bottom of the Lincoln, you can see the shelving or the doubling there. So we definitely want to look at what's going on with the 4 there. Let me look at that. I think the 94 does have a variety. Oh, wow. You think that's it? But why? Well, I can't say just on the 4 because, like I said, I see the doubling or the ship. Oh, look at his head. What is that? Did you notice that on his forehead? Or am I looking too deep at this dude? You see that at the forehead? Oh yeah, you can see the whole in front of his nose and everything. Oh, and look at the chin. Oh, hold on a second. This might be. Let me go to Copper Coins and check out the what's that 94? Because I think the 94 has a variety. P1D. Oh, it says nothing. Uh, if you have a 1994 P double die obverse that is not listed, you like to, I could send it to him. But let me go to, man, the penny mat. I'm pretty sure the 94. How about if, let me pause the video for a second. All right, so there's nothing online. There's nothing on. So let's just look at it very closely. I mean, the chat probably not a DDO, but it sure does look good. I have to say that. It's nice looking. Let me take a picture of that for the. Maybe I use this for the thumbnail. You know, I like what's going on the face there, especially on the chin, and then you can see the around the head. You can around his face. You can really see that doubling. How about his eye and on his forehead? All right, let's look at another. Another. Does he have a forehead like that? Is that normal? No, it's not. It's not normal. Yeah, that whatever's going on there at the forehead, right there in front of his eyebrow, it's yeah. So it's something. Now, does that mean it's a double die? No, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean it's not a double die, but usually copper coins will show the varieties there. Yeah, I see that on the B and the E. That's more like shelving. I don't think that's doubling, even though that B comes out really far. Let me look at that under the loop. Yeah, I'm gonna say no. Wow, on the tip of the Y though. Look on the top leg of the Y. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you see that? So, and it doesn't look like, you know, like how, like on the B, it looks like it was hit or something and it smeared it out, which that might not be what it is. But on the Y, it has like an extra piece of metal right there. I don't know, man. This is pretty wild. All right. Anyway, let me keep going. Get hung up. It'll be a 3-hour video. So So I talk about other channels because I like other channels, you know, and I like to it gives me perspective on my channel by what other people do. It's like, wow, like, so one of my favorites is Rob Feist's Treasures. I talk about him all the time. Um, and I mean, I would have to say what he mostly does is um, coin coin album fills mostly, and he uses his own mats that he sells. I mean, genius marketing tool. And then he uses the the ultra. He uses the absolutely cheapest micro. I actually, the microscope Rob Finds Treasure uses, I gave away to one of my members. I mailed it to her. Um, it's not very. I mean, it's very good for, like, if you just want to see if something's there. It's great. I can't even remember the name of it. Super easy to use, and he gets to see if there's any mint. He basically only uses it to see. That's a nice, right? That's a beautiful penny. He basically only uses it to see if there's a mint mark on the coin. He really does not use it for. He will see if there's a repunch. Like, he knows the different varieties, so he will use it for that also. You know, the S over D, or the, you know, stuff like that. And he does skip ahead, so I guess if you don't want to see him look at every single, I mean, because he's doing boxes, you know what I mean? So in that sense, um, yeah, it would take him. And again, you can't do. It would be very time consuming to do boxes if he was going to look at each coin individually, and like what I do here on the channel. So he can't. He really can't do it. There's not enough time for it. Now, does that mean he's missing out on varieties or anything like that? He probably is missing out on something here and there, but it's so infrequent, right? Because you find errors, like really small. Like, for example, that little thing on the Y there, right? He would most likely 100% miss this. What's the chance of that being valuable? Very, very low. But if you're a penny roll hunter and there are so many varieties. For example, you know what's in the cherry pickers guides. There's no way you're gonna find cherry picker errors doing what he does. Just looking at the date, looking at the mint. No, you. What I do is the minimum. This is the minimum. Really, you should be looking at each penny underneath a microscope if you're really gonna look for each variety from the cherry pickers guide or whatever guide you're using. So what I do, oh, look at that. Nah, it's nothing. Is I do the minimum to possibly find one of those varieties, which is I look at each one individually pretty closely, and I spend, 15, 20 minutes. Let me look at that Liberty under the loop. I spend 15, 20 minutes per penny roll. Hmm. I don't know. Hard to tell. It looks like it might have some spreading. What year is this? 75. I mean, it has spreading, right? And then on the D in God, look at the God, the spreading in the God. You can actually see some separation to the south, right? So you got the spreading and you got a little bit of so the spreading's everywhere, right? You can see it everywhere throughout the whole coin, right? It looks like someone is spreading, like the letters were made of butter and someone spread it with a butter knife, and you can see how it kind of spreads. Now, under a microscope, you would see the even the loop. I could barely see it right there in the God. I'll put that to the side too. That might be one. And what I'll do is I'll put them in a. I don't use my microscope yet. I always get a lot of comments about that. Use your microscope. Use your microscope. Um, but I just don't have the setup or the space yet for it. You really need. I've showed my office before, and I'm slammed over here. Yuck. What the? Funny thing is, underneath it looks like there's an image, but I doubt it. It's just super dirty. Tons of copper, like I said. I think we're gonna have about 15 copper pennies out of here at the end of it. So wide AM, we need the close AM. If this was a close AM, it'd be like a $200 penny, something like that. So I guess it really all depends on what it is you're interested in when you're watching when you when you're watching coin hunting content. I'm looking at the D. I don't think that's a repunchment mark. If you're not looking to learn anything, or if you're doing album fills, then channels like Rob Finds Treasure, Quinn's Coins, and Touche Gabby, they're great. They're entertaining. I watch them. I really like them. But you're only going to learn how to use a mat. You're only going to learn how to use a mat. That's really about it. And pen and coin and album fill. And I get messages all the time. Oh, I've done album fills, and they're very time consuming. And you're putting a bunch of coins with no value and no intellectual value into, like I said, it's a really great, low intensity hobby. Oh, look at that. That's a great example of shelving right there. Absolutely worthless. But you can see the mechanical doubling there in the O. So, I was fortunate enough to get members at a very early stage in my channel's development, where I see that in the motto, where I got nudged in the right direction. Yeah. This could definitely 100% be a double die. It's just there is spreading all over the place in the model. Oh, and I can see the separation also. And the funny thing is, it's also on the reverse. It has that like smoothed out, spreading kind of look on the whole reverse. And to me, as soon as I saw it, I said, wow, this really looks like some sort of strike issue. That if you look here in the model, you really see that spreading really, really good. Look, even look in the top of the Liberty, there's little lines. I will check. Let me check Copper Coins and see if he shows the motto in the 1981. 1981 P1DO. Nothing. All right. So here's another, probably another dud, but it could be a grease strike. You know, there might have been just a little bit of grease on the die when it struck, and it just made it smear. It shifted the die on the strike, so that it could be from grease, but it does look a little bit double-ish. So, you know, I was fortunate, right? Eric from Kenai Collectibles, he, you know, Otis. I had all these Sandra, Ter. I had all these members who joined up, and they were like, "Hey, you know, this and that, and that's this, that this is that," and they led me in they pushed me in the right direction. You know, they got me thinking, and they got me on the right track right from the beginning. You know, I mean, Eric, you joined like when I first started doing this, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was wow, what a beauty! I really didn't think this was copper. What a beautiful penny this is. Has a little bit of a die clash in there. That's a beauty. Wait until I show you how much copper we got. This is crazy. Ton of copper. And I didn't even look through those other ones. I looked through them at the end here. So if you stood here to the end of the video, you'll get that extra content of me going through the copper dirty pennies that we found. So I will do that here. And if you stood here, then you get that extra content. Everyone else who left, they don't get it. Blah, 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 blah. So I think because of that, I really, you know, I really would like to help others. It's one of the reasons I called the channel Penny Help Jess, because I really want this to be a channel that helps people. I found another copper. I think this is copper 73. So here are the ones. Like I said, off camera, I'm just going to check really quickly, see if there's any copper in here. That looks copper. It's not. All right, so I don't want to do a whole video or anything like that. Then I'll put these into, and I actually mark these penny rolls as dirty. Oh wow, look at that. That was a beautiful, look at this beauty. That was in there. I didn't even see it. Look at that. Oh, here goes an 80, beautiful 82. So there were some nice coins in there. I really did not want to penny roll hunt through those two dirty rolls, to be honest with you. Even though there was a bunch of copper in there. Look how dirty it is, though, you know. So so I like doing stuff like that, like giving extra content at the end of the video, especially for those who stood here with me, you know what I mean? Yeah, super dirty. All right, what's that? 72. See how dirty it is? I'm just trying to see if I find any copper in here, and obviously I did find a bunch of copper. I just didn't want to look through. I didn't want the video to be about, you know, searching through a dirty but it's okay now. Wow, look at this. So there was a lot of copper in those 2 penny rolls. My fingers are super dirty. It's just I really don't like doing stuff this dirty. 78. And that's one of the reasons why, if you've watched enough of my videos, you know that I have a a dirty. This is the zinc, and this is for dirty pennies, dirty copper, fine, which is like, heavily circulated but not dirty. And then I had the AU, BU, and then the MS. Like this is going to go into the MS tube. This this might go in. I have an 82 tube also, so I go into the 82 tube. How about this one? This one looks really nice. Yeah, this will go into the MS tube also. Super nice. So, all right. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please click like. Oh, here's all the copper we found today in that penny roll. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 copper pennies. You doubled that. That's 36% copper. That's, you're only going to find usually between like 5 and 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 is a lot of copper. 10 copper pennies, a lot of copper pennies in it. So we got 18 of them. That's incredible. All right. God bless. And I'll see you in the next one.